For years I've been celebrating Holy Week. We just start off on Palm Sunday. We remember that Jesus came in lowly on a donkey, showing that he was the Messiah, but that he was coming to give the people peace. And then we usually skip all the way over to Good Friday. And that's the day we celebrate that Jesus went to the tomb, he did go to the tomb, but he went to the cross for us, for the sacrifice for our sins. And then we wait till Sunday and we celebrate Easter, or better, Resurrection Sunday. But what about the days in between? Is there something to celebrate with those days in between? Well, one day that many Christians do not celebrate or do not recognize is what some Christians call Maundy Thursday. And what is Maundy Thursday? Well, Maundy literally means from the Latin mandatum, or mandate. And you see, Jesus, on the night in which he was betrayed, on that Thursday night, we know that he gave a commandment to his disciples. At that Last Supper, when they're celebrating what we call communion, he gave this commandment. And we find this in John 13:34 and 35. It says, a new mandate, a new commandment, that is freshly new. This is something different. This is not just loving others as you love yourself. This is not just loving your neighbor, but a new commandment, something that is fresh, different than before. A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another, and this is a key phrase, just as I have loved you. You also are to love one another. By this all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. And so that is how that commandment was fresh, how it was new, and why we celebrate Maundy Thursday. Well, we can celebrate Maundy Thursday. It is because we've been given that commandment as Jesus' disciples, and he did that in a very lowly, humble fashion, in a very low way. He got down on his feet. He got down on the ground. He came as a servant, and he washed his disciples' feet, even Judas Iscariot's feet. That is how you show love. It is when we lower ourselves, when we humble ourselves, and we do something sacrificial for someone else. Now, something sacrificial doesn't necessarily mean that it always has to be like I'm giving my life, I'm offering, solely myself to somebody else. But being sacrificial can mean this. In 1 John 3:16, it says this, by this we know love, that he, that is Jesus, laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for the brothers. Now, that's probably not going to happen to you. You're probably not going to lay down your life for somebody else. But this is what we can do. And he states it in the negative. But if anyone has the world's goods and sees his brother in need, yet closes his heart against him, how does God's love abide in him? Little children, let us not love in word or talk, but in deed and in truth, or authentically. You see, we can show that we're living by this new commandment when we give not only of ourselves, but we give back to others what God has graciously given us. If somebody is in need, and we say, hey, I'm just going to pray for you, and then we just leave them in their suffering, leave them in their need, that is not love. But if we say, hey, yes, I am going to pray for you, and then we actually go out and we serve that person, we give that person what they need. If we have the world's goods, if we do have something, that is showing that we are fulfilling the new commandment. So I want to encourage you, again, we don't have this right, we don't have to go out and wash other people's feet. I mean, we really don't have to do that in our society today. But one way that we can do that, that we can show we're commemorating Maundy, Thursday, that we're showing that we are disciples of Jesus Christ, is by recognizing and seeing and then meeting other people's needs in love, and loving people not as ourselves, but just as Jesus has loved us. That is showing, again, that we are his disciples and that we truly love Good Friday and Resurrection Sunday. Well, thank you for joining me.